Thank you. All right, so hi everyone. I have been working on a CI system for a while now, and I think you might really like it, so have a look. Let's say you've decided you want CI for your system, so you have a look at either GitHub Actions or GitLab runners or whatever else you like. And this is more or less your experience, or it was mine at least. Has anyone done this? Has this been your Git history at some point? Yes, exactly, right? So this is now optional. You don't need to do this anymore. In particular, you don't need to be writing YAML anymore. We don't need to be YAML programmers. This is a real command that I really ran on a real work code base. We had 3,000 lines of YAML that we just deleted. Also real. Who here has pipelines that take an hour? Look around. This is not normal. Okay? This is optional from now on. And then they fail. Okay? So what do we do when they fail? We press retry. All right, so I want to introduce you a radically different way of looking at this. This is what your history could look like. It could be passing from the first commit, and then you can actually get work done, and it doesn't need to take very long. You don't need to configure it. You don't need to be writing any YAML files because it can figure out what to do by itself. That's the wrong button. I have about 100 repositories that now all have passing CI, where previously they had copy-pasted YAML files that were then broken after the first run. Now they all have passing CI. You can just enable this on all your repositories so that even in new repositories from the first commit, you have passing CI. This is what it could look like. I mean, this is what it actually looks like because that's a screenshot. This is an actual suite which didn't even fit onto the entire screenshot because I had a longer screen than wide. But this is a full suite that runs in 3 minutes. It builds entire operating systems, runs them in virtual networks to test them against each other. It could be fast because we have decided to use really big machines for this. There it is. In total, it spent 5 minutes doing things, and it took 3 minutes to do so because there's more than one worker. This is the fun part. Remember pressing retry? We automated pressing retry. And you might think, well, I'm pressing retry, that takes me however long it takes to press a button, right? But no, because actually, when you press retry, that means the CI system waited for you to see that it was broken and then press retry, and then it has to rerun again. And if you do this automatically, like this does it, then it becomes a zero-time event, and this just saves you hours instead of however long it takes you to click something. Here's the second cool part. Any failing build will give you a command that you can paste into your terminal and reproduce the same failing build locally, or succeeding build, whatever. Now you don't have to push a commit to get CI working again. You can get everything working locally, then push and see it passing. And that was the whole presentation, which I have 2 more minutes for. If you have any questions, now would be a good time. Otherwise, come talk to me afterwards. I can demo this on your repository because it is zero config, which means if you haven't configured it, which you probably haven't, I can still run CI for you. So come and talk to me if you'd like me to try that on one of your repositories.
Any questions?
Yeah, 1 minute for a question if you want.
Any questions?
Yes?
Hold on 1 sec.
Okay. The question was, how does it know what to run? It uses the flake schema to figure out what is in a flake to then do all of it. There's also continuous deployment, which you have to write a script for, but it's done in a certain way that you can locally reproduce that too. So you can have locally reproducible continuous deployment, which is like... Yeah. Yes?
Can I have self-hosted runners?
Can you have self-hosted runners? Yes. So there is hosted and self-hosted runners for GitLab, GitHub, and you can also host a leader yourself and for GitLab and GitLab. GitLab and GitHub, yes. I have 1 more minute for another question. Yes? Long story short, you need to talk to me about that, but it's more or less the cheapest thing you'll find. Yes, the question was, what's the price? All right, I have 45 seconds, otherwise I'll... Yes? Yes, indeed, yes. So it is Nix aware, obviously. So everything that's already been cached because it's done doesn't need to be rebuilt. So that's why the second run when it automatically presses retry is usually way faster than the first one, indeed. All right, I'm going to leave it there. If you have any other questions, come talk to me afterwards. If you want a demo, come talk to me as well.